Hey guys, it's Mr. Kelly with our video lesson for April 24th. Okay, so for today's assignment, oh man. Hey guys, it's Mr. Kelly with our ELA video lesson for Friday, April 24th. Okay, so for today, this is our final assignment with Family Matters. There are going to be 4 parts to this assignment, and it's going to count as a 20-point quiz. Now, please take your time with this assignment. It's not due until Monday night at 8 o'clock. All right, so Monday night at 8 is the due date. And email or comment if you have any questions at all. So let's get to part 1. So think of the themes we have encountered while reading Family Matters. We talked about the following themes: selfish, forgiving, oblivious, and repentant, which is feeling regret or sorry for what you have done. But you can choose a different theme if you want to. Now, which one theme do you feel is the most important for having and maintaining a healthy and successful family structure, and why? So please respond with at least 3 complete sentences. You do not need to provide text evidence. So again, just come up with one theme that we've read. It could be one of these examples that we talked about, or another that you noticed during any story at all. And just give me 3 sentences on why that theme you feel is most important for having and maintaining a healthy and successful family structure. All right, guys, so one theme, and I need 3 sentences as to why it will provide a healthy and successful family structure. All right, so that's part 1. All right, part 2. Think of all the different settings and locations we were taken to in Family Matters. Use one setting and write how it had a direct influence on the character or on the plot. Please make sure that you mention the story, setting, and the character in your response. This will also count as your text evidence. And also, again, please write 3 complete sentences. So for this part, when we're talking about the setting and how it could affect the character or plot, so a couple things. Think about Nativity. That was a story with the writer wrote about his dog sleds, and how the dogs, his one dog gave birth to a litter of puppies, and he was from Minnesota, and they were going through a brutal winter, and how he made the shelter for the dog, and how the dog gave birth to all the puppies, but one of them died during birth. So that would be a story of how the setting affected a character or the plot. Also, after the divorce, remember, there was a family where the parents had divorced recently. The kids were living with the dad. They were in a small apartment. And just the whole setting of being different, of not having their mom anymore, of living in that apartment, changed their lives dramatically. And then we also had I Am Singing Now. That was a poem we read a while ago, a short poem. And the setting was definitely had an influence on that story as well. So check that out. All right, part 3. Think of 2 reasons why families break apart. So some examples would be divorce, death, anger, blame, lack of trust, etc. There could be more that you guys could think of. Explain which stories you took your reasons from and how the family was broken apart. Please write at least 3 complete sentences. So going back, think about 2 reasons why families break apart. So I'm looking for that, 2 reasons. And then explain which stories you took your reasons from and why. So some stories for this could be The Charmer, because in that story we had a lot of things. We had anger, we had blame, we had ignorance, we had all kinds of reasons for that one. Trust Me, one of the stories we read a couple weeks ago, how the whole situation arose because the father and the son, they really didn't have great trust earlier in their relationship. After the divorce, that could be one as well, obviously. So, and then we also have Somebody's Son too. Why did that family break apart? Anger, blame, lack of trust. So those are some stories we could go back and look at for part 3. So again, I'll read them again. The Charmer, Trust Me, after the divorce, and somebody's son. So again, for part 3, think of 2 reasons why families break apart. Give me an example, and then tell me which story you got that from, and provide your evidence and explain why you're using that reason. All right, part 4. Think of 2 reasons why families stay together or come back together. Some examples of this would be forgiveness, lonely, needing each other to survive, they are a team, they trust each other, etc. So again, just like with part 3, explain which stories you took your reasons from and how the family stayed together or came back together. Please write at least 3 complete sentences. So some stories for this would be Thanksgiving in Polynesia. Think about how that story ended, how the characters bonded together, and decided they were going to get through Thanksgiving with Aunt Rhea and the family that they didn't like. We also have Trust Me can also be a reason how families kind of stay together, or even how they grow to trust one another again. If you think about the ending of that story, it seemed like the son and the father had a renewed relationship, like the fences were mended once the ending played out. And then also Somebody's Son, similar situation. Think about the ending, think about why the family came back together. And then the Prodigal Son. In the Prodigal Son, the younger kid came home for obvious reasons, so think about that story. So again, for part 4, think of 2 reasons why families stay together or come back together. And please explain which stories you took your reasons from and how the family stayed or came back together with at least 3 complete sentences. All right, please make sure you use text evidence as well. So guys, for this, all the directions will be on our Google document for this assignment on Friday. So now, in closing, again, this assignment is due Monday at 8 o'clock and is counting as a 20-point quiz grade, so please take your time. Also, if you need a copy of Sleeping Freshmen Never Lie, they will be available for pickup on Monday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 1 o'clock. Mrs. Radka will be there from 10 to 11, then I'll be coming in from 11 to 1. And also remember, with the new school schedule, we won't have ELA assignments on Tuesday, but you can still contact me at any time if you have questions about anything, and I will respond as soon as possible. So just because there aren't any assignments doesn't mean I won't be around, because I certainly will be. All right, guys. So again, if you have any questions, let me hear from you. Otherwise, I hope everything's going well, and I hope you guys have a good day. Take care.